So breaking news. Piero Corvetto, the head of the ONPE, the Oficina Nacional, the people in charge of Peru's elections, the motherfucker in charge of Peru's elections, Piero Corvetto, had visited the offices of Keiko Fujimori's party, the Popular Force, and given nobody any explanation about why he's visiting the opposition, why he's in. He was the ex-member of the same party. Pierre Corvetto was a Popular Force member, and now he's going around visiting Keiko Fort. That smells like dog shit. That smells corrupt. So we'll assume that Pierre Corvetto is a corrupt piece of shit on the side of the Keiko freaks. Now, any Peruvian who votes for Keiko must have some really deep hatred for the brown Peruvian men. That's your own people, you fucking weirdo. We're not even for sure if Keiko's father was actually a Peruvian citizen. He was the son of Japanese immigrants. So why would Piero Corvetto visit Keiko's Popular Force party offices? And Popular Force, isn't that fucking awesome? Keiko, why the fuck, who the fucking good conscience could vote for Keiko? Huh? A Keiko, a fucking Keiko Freako? Popular Force. That's the name of her political party. What's our political party? Popular Use of Force. The baton-wielding use of force, police brutality, straight-up status fascist, the Nazi party. Why don't they just say they're the fucking Nazi party? Popular Force. And they're going to fight the leftists and the populists and the leftists and the people that love the leftist ideas and fucking shit. Popular Force, huh? Popular Force. Popular Use of Force. Jesus Christ. Okay, guys, this got here late last night. This is Fiorella Isabel, who was born in Peru, is Peruvian American. I don't know. Fiorella Isabel. She just got to Peru. She was born in Peru, so she would know about what the hell's going on. And she's been tweeting. I feel like she's the only one that actually, in English, I don't know anybody else that's covering this story. So these are some tweets of Fiorella Isabel. Okay, guys, this got here last night. There are issues with my flight. I had to get on another flight. I'll be telling you all about that, by the way, to fly to any South American country right now. I recommend getting there 4 hours early and figuring out what each country asks for COVID. That's at Fiorella_IM. What happens in Peru, which will determine much of what happens in the global south, and if socialism or a leftist movement can gain strength in Latin America. I don't know if the stakes are that fucking high, but if shit can win, then that does mean that there's leftist politics are alive and well. I told you about Melanie Stansberry, and then she fucking won that election the day after. You didn't even know. And then I'm wondering why the hell people are watching this, stupid dog shit, but then the stuff that I actually like, Melanie Stansberry, 21 fucking views. So when I'm happy, you don't want to see the stuff that I'm happy about? Okay, well, Pedro, when Pedro Castillo fucking wins, I'm going to be happy about this shit too. And if he loses, I'm going to be so fucking sad and disappointed. It's pretty much, fascism versus, socialism or Marxism. It is straight up fascism v. Marxism. This is going to just divide the country right in half, but it's going to dictate, it's going to say which direction Peru is going to go. So Peru could totally fuck up, right? Go Franco, go fucking Mussolini, go fucking Tojo, go goddamn fucking Nazi, or they could say, hey, let's Peru be for Peru and pick one of their own fucking humble farmers, their own little Jimmy Carter, their own fucking, trade unionist, regular Joe from out of nowhere, from out of the fucking, Andes Mountains and motherfucker in the middle of the goddamn Amazon. That's where they found this guy. You need a big-ass cowboy hat if you're going to walk around the Amazon up in the Andes. Is that... The rainforest isn't up in the Andes Mountains. Machu Picchu, come on. Don't you know about Machu Picchu? That's Peru, okay? America. So what? This election also heavily involves the upcoming battle for natural resources, including minerals like lithium, copper, and silver, too. Copper and silver, holy shit, people rob houses of their copper and silver that goes into computers just like lithium does, too. So they're actually sitting on a silver mine. It's not, a beggar on a gold mine. It's a beggar on a silver mine and a copper and lithium mine. Peru is rich as shit in raw materials, but poor as fuck when it comes to, getting those raw materials to either use for themselves or to sell. Somehow they're not getting the wealth that their, raw materials are. Corporations, right? So fuck corporate America. What happens in Peru will determine what happens in global South. The U.S. favors the right-wing government, will allow further privatization, while some on the region desire independence and a more nationalist approach focused on the people benefiting from the country's rich minerals. Quechua, the Incan rulers, made Quechua the official language of Cusco, when the city became their administrative and religious capital early in the 1400s. So Quechua, do you all speak Quechua today? Does anybody speak Quechua in Peru? If I learned Quechua, would I be able to communicate with anyone? So this is the Marxist v. Fascist. I think this is a good way to frame this fucking thing, because basically both camps are saying, what? A Marxist, a left-winger? Well, I don't have a choice. I gotta fucking vote for the fascists. And then, some people are saying, well, I don't want to vote for a Marxist, but, what, you want me to vote for a fucking fascist? What kind of memory you got? Remember the fucking father? So, the father is in jail right now for war crimes. Corruption, bribery, war crimes. And he got pardoned, but he didn't get pardoned. He's about to fucking die. And to be honest with you, Kiko is actually going to, resurrect. Whether she wins or loses, she's actually won a major victory, because he was, fucking thrown in fucking prison. The ex-president of goddamn Peru, several years after him leaving the presidency, he was thrown back in jail. And this is, his daughter is about to win the presidency. So how bad could the man have been if, out of two motherfuckers, his daughter is that close away from getting the presidency. So both sides are sitting there making it sound like it's all or nothing. But frankly, a fascist is a bunch of boots, the boot stomping in the face of humanity. And Marxism is, a man, an author, an idea guy, so socialism. He thinks that the workers should own, the mines. The workers can control the factories and the mines and the stores. The workers, the people, can run their own shit. They don't need the goddamn oppressive, capitalist class to tell them what to do. So the choice is between, a so-called unpopular, controversial economic theory, but there's only two main theories: capitalism, socialism, right? Communism, or Milton Friedman. How many Milton Friedmanists do you know in America? Everybody's supposed to be capitalist, but they don't know Milton Friedman. So Marxism versus fascism. It's not even Milton Friedmanism. It's not even free market principles or anything like that. It's just, to hell with Marxism and shit. I think you can have a mixed system. I think you can have a capitalistic and a socialistic system. And frankly, I know capitalism is going to get their piece of pie, right? They're going to get a piece of their pie. They always fucking get the piece of their pie. But the people don't always get a piece of their pie. So this is fantastic as an American. I'm super excited. I don't get to actually see real leftists. There's no leftists in America. There's very few progressives, we'll put it that way. And so to see that a leftist, a Bernie Sanders, this is like almost Bernie Sanders is about to become president of Peru. We're going to get another Pepe Mujica. We're going to get ourselves, brand new Evo Morales, a farmer turned president, Cincinnatus, right? Farmer turned general, turned back to farmer. And this is fantastic. This is, one of Peru's own is about to become president, one of their own humble own, not part of the plutocrat, not part of the, oligarchy, not part of the plutocracy, not part of the ruling class whatsoever, fucking never, a total goddamn outsider. And he already won one election, 19% versus 13%. So he's the odds-on favorite. This is his election to lose. This Peru's election is for Pedro to lose. So let's talk about Peru. They're a presidential republic, compulsory voting. All Peruvians are required to participate in their own democratic republic. Oh my God, I think Republican, I don't know who I hate more when it comes to electoral politics, the non-voters or the Republicans. You both are sons of bitches. You can't even vote, third party can't even vote, none of the above. You're not going to do, if you're not voting, you ain't doing shit. You ain't doing shit, you ain't marching, you ain't protesting, you ain't paying attention to nobody, you selfish motherfucker. God, you selfish as fuck. God damn it, why are you so fucking, you're not part of this democratic republic, then shit. You know, I'm about community, but I ain't about to fight for motherfuckers that ain't gonna fight for me. I'm sick of fighting for motherfuckers that don't fight for me. So all for one, one for all. Right? Of course that's right. Compulsory voting. All Peruvians, and they all have a government ID. So all Peruvians have a government ID. They all must vote. There's a none of the above option on the ballot. So that means you're not forced to vote for, Tweedledee or Tweedledum. You can vote your goddamn conscience. Just like in America, you can vote, third party. There's definitely some worthy motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you really looked at all the, okay, I'm so sure. And in Colorado, man, they mail the fucking ballots to you. They can't make it any more easier on same-day registration. They couldn't make it easier on there if they tried. You have to fight so fucking hard if you live in Colorado to not vote. You got to be the biggest piece of shit on the fucking planet to not. If you live in Colorado and you don't vote, you are the biggest piece of shit on the planet. It's basically a guy comes out with a clipboard. Hey, you want to vote? Right here. Here's all the things. Oh, I don't want to talk to you. Okay, no, here, I'll just leave this here. Fine. Fine. Okay, well, you got 30 days to turn it in. Okay, fine, but I'm not going to, I don't care what you want me to vote. I'm going to vote how I want. Fine, you can vote how you want. It's 30 days. Just get it in the mail before, 30 days. All right, thank you. Now get the hell out of here. So it's a presidential republic. They got a prime minister. They had a female prime minister. I don't know if she's going to be the first female president. She might be the first female president. Compulsory voting. Everybody's got a government ID. Now, Peru is Machu Picchu. Peru is the Amazon rainforest, the tropical rainforest. Pedro Castillo, the Andes Mountains. Machu Picchu, the Incans, the Llamas and Incans, and it's 95% Christian, and it's 45% native. Peru is Machu Picchu, Llamas, copper, silver, lithium and Andes, and the Amazon rainforest. So that's a little bit about Peru right there. It's South America. I'm at your front fucking yard, you piece of you white American pieces of shit. Pedro Castillo won the first round with 19% to 13%. Not an outright majority, which is why the runoff election was triggered. If Pedro Castillo wins, crown him the brand new fucking Pepe Mujica, right, who legalized marijuana in Uruguay. I think the first country ever in the world, the brand new Evo Morales. He's a native who actually got, I think, Bolivia is 95% native. So a Native American who became the president of his own country finally, which was actually, like brand new, like they never thought it was possible. And here, Mr. Humble Evo Morales. And so Pedro the Marxist, he has this election to lose. His party is Marxist. I'm not sure if he's a Marxist. He's got socialist ideas. He seems to want to nationalize a lot of industries. We need to pay very close attention to the legislation that he passes in the very beginning to see what specific direction that he wants Peru to go. But he's part of the Liberate the Free Peru Party. So Free Peru, meaning he wants Peru to go up, and he's a leftist. So he's for state socialism. He's for, outright workers control the means of production socialism. We're not for sure. But he's a leftist, and he wants Peru to go up. So he's for the people. He's through and through for the people. He wants to change the Constitution. He wants a brand new Constitution. He also wants to get the same pay as teachers. He wants to lower the lawmakers' pay. There's a whole bunch of progressive shit that Pedro Castillo wants to do. Pedro Castillo is about to put Peru on the fucking map if he wins. In Peru, I mean, my God, this choice can be more drastic or dire. It's basically, do you want heaven here on earth, a Star Trek fucking universe, or do you want hell on earth? Do you want the goddamn hyenas? Do you want the fucking hyenas taking over Pride Rock and goose stepping all over your corpses and shit? And you want the death squads? You remember, I mean, I know he had some fucking trouble or whatever, but the 2 times that, you know, Alberta fucking intervened, 69,000 Peruvians got fucking killed. 69,000? Jesus Christ. So, Pedro Castillo says that companies should profit 30% and that the state should collect 70%. What the fuck is he talking about? Private corporations profit all the fucking money. They barely pay any goddamn fucking taxes. What are you talking about? The state takes 70% of their profits? He's talking a whole different kind of language I'm not even used to. He's anti-imperialism. He's for some kind of state socialism. So Pedro Castillo is about to put Peru on the map, and I hope that Peru votes for Pedro Castillo. Fiorella Isabel tweets, voting has begun in Peru. The military and police have been ordered to take their command post, remain on alert. Many businesses have boarded up their doors and windows. People can only vote, with some exceptions, between the hours coordinated with the number on their DNI. While in America, they made vote by mail and drop boxes the thing for COVID. In Peru, they made it so people still go to the polls, but not at the same time. There's no such thing as long lines. Most districts have paper voting and got rid of the electronic machines, except some in Lima. That's at Fiorella_IM. As you can see, for the disabled or people with needs, extended the voting time to 2 hours. Also, Peruvians are not supposed to drink alcohol. Businesses should not sell it the day before voting last night and today, but they need to make money, so few truly follow through. Well, that's just like Kentucky, is it not? Pedro Castillo is a social conservative. This is problematic, okay? So Pedro Castillo seems to be right, or, you know, leftist, correct, when it comes to economics. But Pedro Castillo is wrong. He is right-wing when it comes to some social conservative issues, such as abortion, and he's a fucking homophobe when it comes to gay folks. So Pedro Castillo, he's, you know, Catholic, so gross, and because he's a Catholic, that's why he's also against abortion and homophobia. Second Amendment to the Constitution. So expect for hate crimes to happen in Pedro Castillo's Peru. Expect hate crimes that have already been happening in Peru. Fucking hate crimes and shit. And women are going to have to get abortions with hangers and poorly lit, you know, back alleys and shit. So that's awful. Pedro Castillo's anti-choice. He's a homophobe. Jesus Christ, I hope he doesn't, you know. And then he's religious. So, hey, Pedro, we'll start with that one. There is no God. Hey, Pedro Castillo. There is no God. You need common sense, logic, and science, okay? So, Bucky O'Hare, you know, Bucky O'Hare, just, I don't think you should drop the God shit, but if Bucky O'Hare sticks to his Jesus Christ guns, okay? Jesus Christ, that's an okay feller, okay? Yes, sirree, be an atheist with the Jesus complex. You seen it here first, folks. Jesus, what's bad can be said? Well, he got rid of the fig tree and the fucking, if anything, throw the goddamn money changers out of the temple. Right? You know, he's a pacifist. He's basically a pushover. You know, every once in a while, Jesus does need to flip a fucking money changing table over or two. So I think if Pedro Castillo sticks to his Jesus Christ guns, right? Who is Jesus? Jesus was care about the poor and the distraught and the, you know, the marginalized and the fucking tax collector and what the fuck have you, right? The poor, care about the poor, love each other. He talked about love your neighbor. He talked about golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated. A lot of incredibly revolutionary ideas that comes out of Jesus' mouth. Now, did Alberto Fujimori sterilize indigenous women? Did Alberto Fujimori sterilize indigenous women? Jesus Christ, what? No wonder people are saying never Fujimori ever again. I mean, my God, there's an article about that, so I'm going to read that article, and I'll answer the question. I'll see what... let's read a little bit about Alberto Fujimori, and then we'll end it off with that. To his supporters, Alberto Fujimori was the president who saved Peru from the twin evils of terrorism and economic collapse. To his opponents, he was a Nazi, son of Japanese immigrants. Alberto Fujimori's decade in power from 1990 to 2000, in which he ruled with an iron fist, was marked by a series of dramatic twists and turns. His authoritarian government's crackdown on two violent insurgencies during his tenure resulted in the deaths of an estimated 69,000 people. Several years after his presidency ended, Mr. Fujimori was found guilty of bribery and abuse of power. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison for human rights abuses during his time in office, including authorizing a number of killings carried out by death squads. Sentenced to 25 years in prison in 2009 at the age of 70, most Peruvians assumed the former leader would spend the rest of his life in jail, but in December 2017, the 79-year-old was taken from prison to a hospital in the capital, Lima, because of health concerns. He was suffering from low blood pressure and abnormal heart rhythm. That same month, Fujimori was granted a pardon by President Pedro Pablo Kaczynski after doctors said his illness was incurable, added that prison represented a grave threat, a grave risk to his life. He recognized that he had let others down, adding, "Those I ask for forgiveness from the bottom of my heart." He also called for the country to unite against crime and violence. We'll be in a country in which security is regained and violence eliminated. He tweeted the news of his pardon was both celebrated and demonstrated against, with thousands taken to the streets of Lima. The Minister of Culture and the Defense Minister resigned over the pardon. Within days, Mr. Fujimori was released from hospital, a free man, waving at media from his wheelchair, accompanied by his son, Kenji Fujimori. One of the key moments of his presidency was the hostage siege by Marxist rebels belonging to the Tupac Amaru Revolutionary Movement, the MRTA. Okay, so which occurred at the Japanese ambassador's residence in Lima, 96 to 97. After a 4-month standoff, commandos were sent in to take the building. 14 rebels, all of them were killed. Nearly 72 hostages were rescued in an operation that at the time cemented Mr. Fujimori's talking and acting tough. In Pune, residents say they have never felt the improvements in quality of life that the statistics suggest. We're illiterate, we're poor, and although we are always working, Medina, the mother, said, I would get so frustrated. She added not being able to read and write. She enrolled in a literacy school after her firstborn son was born. Her first son was born, but all she learned was how to write her name and remember her Peruvian identify card number.